Okay, aloha class. Welcome.
Aloha, teacher.
So today we're gonna read this book. Really awesome. Does anyone want to read the title?
See, hear, touch, taste, smell.
Awesome. So I want each of you to think about a time that you have seen, hear, touched, taste, or smelled.
I see you.
Oh, you see me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me, and then you can taste your
I can
drink.
touch
You
and
can
taste my
touch,
drink.
you can taste. That's awesome. So today we're going to read about this book, and we are going to talk about how each of these 5 things are senses. So this is how we connect to the things around us in the world. And so in this book, I want you to go ahead. This is the front page or the cover page. And as we were pointing to the title of the book, and then below the title, they normally have the person who writes the book, or the author. And so we're going to read this so that we can understand what seeing, hearing, touching, and tasting and smelling is, and kind of be able to use it in our life from now on, or see when we are using these things. So before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask a few questions to see if you understand each of the words that are on here. So how do we see? Point to the part in your body how you see. I want you to go ahead and point. Perfect, with your eyes. And how do you hear things?
With your ears.
With your ears. And what do we touch with normally? Our hands. Good job. And what is it? I want you to point out what it is that you taste with. Yeah. Tongue. Perfect. And of course the smell has to go with our nose. Perfect. Thank you, class. You guys are doing awesome. So as we're reading, if you have any questions or curiosity, just go ahead and ask, and we can continue to go on. So here on the front page, we were pointing to each of those places. I'm going to go ahead and close this. So see, hear, touch, taste, smell. That's how we find out about the world around us. So I'm going to go to the next one. As we were talking about, we see with our eyes. Seeing is how we find out the color, size, shape, and movement of things around us. So that word movement might be a little bit tricky for first graders and second graders. But movement is the process or being able to move. So when we see things, we're able to see them move, right? Kind of how like my hand is moving right now. It's movement. And then, what's the next one? The next one is we hear with our ears. Hearing is how we find out about the sounds around us. Okay, and the next one, we touch and feel with our fingers and skin. So you see how it says fingers and skin? Normally when we think touch, we just think about our fingers, but where's our skin? Here? Where else? It's all over the body, right? Yes, it's all over the body. So does that mean that we can feel and touch with all of our body?
Yes.
Yes. So how are some ways we can feel with the skin on our feet? What are some things we can feel?
When our clothes touches our skin or our body, we can feel it.
Your clothes.
We walk with no shoes.
You can feel, especially if you have palangi feet, you feel everything. Good job, thank you. Touching is how we find out how things feel around us, just as we were saying. Okay, go ahead to the next one. 8, we taste with our tongues. So I want you to look at this picture. How do you think she likes this food? Do you think she likes it or no? Yeah, she does, doesn't it? And then look at all these yummy foods inside. I know, I'm sorry. I just got hungry too. So tasting is how we find out about the foods around us. So we use our tongue to taste things, which is pretty cool. Okay. Oops, sorry. We smell with our noses. Smelling is how we find out about the odors or smells around us.
What does odors mean?
Odors can be a type of smell. So sometimes normally when people say odors, they think it's like stinky. You know, like odors. Odors. So odors are the things that have smells. So like sometimes, you know, when you get sweaty and afterwards you kind of smell stinky, or you wear shoes without socks, that's odors. Those smells are odors. Okay, any other questions? Thank you. Okay, we often see and hear at the same time. So how are both of these pictures seeing and hearing at the same time?
You can see it as a truck.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sounds because it's a fire. Is that a fire truck?
Yes, that is a fire truck. So it flashes and makes noises at the same time. And then this child is
Just listening maybe to music or reading a book, so they see the book. And
Yeah, and then they have this one as well when there's a play going on and they can hear it. Okay. Sometimes we use more than two senses. So how are some ways we use two senses at the same time?
like they see it and they touch the doll.
Uh-huh. They see it, they touch it. Maybe they even hear
They
the
can
water.
feel the water and hear at the same time.
So is it possible that you can do more than two senses?
Yes.
Like she tastes and touch the apple.
Yes, so perfect. That goes to our last page. And sometimes we use all five senses. So now that we know we use all five senses, how important do you think our senses are?
Very important.
Very
Because
important.
if we don't hear, then we can't hear you, then we just do whatever.
Kind of cut off from the world. So I want each of you to imagine what it would be like without senses.
Oh, it will be boring. Life would be way boring.
Yeah, and everything would be black, right? Because you couldn't
Yeah.
see,
And
can't do anything. So, what is something that you learned from this book?
I learned that you can hear with your ears, you can touch with your hand, you can taste with your tongue, you can smell using your nose, and you see using your eyes.
I also learned that we can only touch with our hand,
All our body. Good job. Thank you. And so hopefully, now that you have read this book, you're able to realize when you're using your senses and also how important your body is. You're going to take good care of it. Awesome. Thank you, class. Awesome job. Give yourself a hand. Okay.